Welcome back. I'm Luna Celestine, your astrology guide, and today we'll be taking a closer look at the message specifically meant for Leo on this March 27th, 2025. This isn't just another forecast. With significant celestial movements unfolding this week, especially as we approach the upcoming solar eclipse, the energy you're sensing may feel both familiar and unfamiliar, as if you're standing at the threshold of something profound, though not yet fully defined. In this video, I'll walk you through the deeper influences the universe is sending your way, not only through the birth chart but also through astrological, offering clearer insight into your emotional landscape, finances, relationships, and the direction you're being asked to reassess. If you've been sensing that something is calling for change, release, or preparation for a new chapter, then now is the time to take that inner signal seriously. You're moving through an important transitional phase. The external shifts may still be subtle, but internally, much is already changing. You might notice that certain environments, roles, or habits no longer feel aligned. Plans or relationships that once felt secure may now bring hesitation or a sense of disconnection. This isn't a sign of failure, it's a sign of growth. What's essential now is to recognize what's worth holding on to and what needs to be released. Letting go doesn't always mean a dramatic ending. Sometimes it's simply choosing to stop investing energy in something that no longer supports who you're becoming. This phase requires clarity, and more importantly, discipline in how you direct your attention and resources. All of this ties directly into your financial landscape. As a Leo, you often act from instinct or inspiration, but today you're being asked to look at the structure behind your actions. How are you spending your time and money? Are you repeating old patterns that keep you stuck? The next section will take a closer look at your financial energy for today, not just in terms of numbers, but in the deeper choices tied to your values and long-term direction. Your financial landscape today is going through a subtle but meaningful transformation. This isn't the kind of shift that brings immediate or dramatic results, but something is realigning beneath the surface. You may not yet see clear evidence of growth, but that doesn't mean you're off track. In fact, there are signs that an opportunity is approaching, particularly if you've been nurturing a creative idea or working on a project that holds personal significance. The key question is whether you have the patience to stay the course when outcomes aren't immediate, and more importantly, whether you're investing in something that genuinely matters to you. This is not the time to follow trends or external expectations. Sustainable financial progress will come from a place of authenticity, where your efforts are not just about earning money, but about expressing your true self through what you create or contribute. At the same time, it's important to be mindful of emotional spending patterns. You might feel inclined to help others or to maintain a certain image of stability or generosity. Before you do, ask yourself, is this support coming from a grounded, intentional place, or from a sense of obligation or over-responsibility? Giving is valuable, but not if it compromises your own sense of security or depletes your energy. Also, take care not to scatter your financial energy across too many directions. You don't have to do everything at once. Choosing one or two areas of focus that truly resonate with you and going deeper rather than wider will yield better results in the long run. What you're dealing with now isn't just about numbers or strategy. It's about your relationship with your own worth. When you're unsure of your value, you may spend to compensate or pursue income from a place of pressure rather than alignment. That's why, in the next section, we'll turn inward and explore your emotional state, because it's often the hidden driver behind your financial choices, whether you realize it or not. When it comes to your work life, there are signs that you may be outgrowing your current role, or at the very least beginning to question its relevance in this phase of your personal evolution. You might still be showing up, fulfilling your responsibilities and performing well on the surface, but internally, something feels misaligned. This disconnect doesn't mean you're failing. It's simply a reflection of inner growth that hasn't yet been matched by external circumstances. There's a quiet restlessness building, a sense that what once motivated you no longer holds the same weight, or that your current path doesn't allow you to fully express who you are becoming. You may find yourself wondering what's next. Even if you can't yet name it, Pay attention to these subtle nudges. They often precede meaningful redirection. Today, inspiration or opportunity may arrive in unexpected ways. It could come through an offhand comment from a colleague, a spontaneous idea, or even a chance encounter that shifts your perspective. These are not coincidences. They're signals. If you've been contemplating a shift into a field that involves communication, creativity, or emotional support, areas where you can bring more of yourself into the work, this is a good time to start exploring those possibilities, even if only in small steps. More than anything, this moment is about reevaluating the role your work plays in your life. It's no longer just about income or achievement. It's about meaning, impact, and alignment. When your external efforts no longer reflect your internal truth, it becomes increasingly difficult to feel fulfilled or motivated. And that disconnect, while professional on the surface, can begin to affect other areas of your life, especially relationships. When we feel disconnected from our purpose or undervalued in our environment, that emotional residue doesn't stay isolated. It carries over into how we relate to others, how present we are, how open, how emotionally available. In the next section, we'll explore what's unfolding in your love life on this particular day, whether you're in a relationship, navigating uncertainty, or standing at the edge of something new. Your emotional clarity and how grounded you feel in your sense of self will shape what happens next. In your love life right now, there is a quiet but meaningful shift underway. Whether you're single or currently in a relationship, the energy surrounding you suggests the beginning of something emotionally restorative, something that feels less like a spark and more like a slow, steady flame. This kind of love doesn't ask you to abandon yourself to prove your worth. It doesn't demand urgency, constant effort, or emotional overextension. Instead, it asks for presence, honesty, and emotional maturity. If you've been healing from a previous relationship, or even from long-standing patterns that have repeated themselves, this is a time when you may start to attract or recognize a different kind of connection, one that mirrors your own growth. This could show up as a new person who feels emotionally safe, shares your values, and doesn't trigger your defenses. Or it might be someone familiar, now seen through a different lens, as both of you meet from a more grounded place. There's no need to chase. The love that's right for you won't require persuasion or performance. It will feel mutual, natural, and, perhaps most importantly, easy, in the ways that matter. This doesn't mean it's without depth or complexity, but rather that it won't demand that you abandon your boundaries to maintain closeness. If you're used to intensity, this kind of steadiness may feel unfamiliar at first. Let yourself adjust to it. Let yourself believe that love can be both deep and peaceful. For those in a relationship, this is a good day to check in, not just with your partner, but with yourself. Are you both still aligned in your vision of the future? Are your emotional needs being voiced and heard? There may not be a major issue at hand, but small misalignments, if left unspoken, can slowly create distance. Honest conversations now can prevent larger misunderstandings later. It's not about confrontation. It's about staying connected to the shared foundation you've built and making sure it still supports who you are today. What's also important to understand is that your capacity for intimacy, your emotional availability, is not shaped in isolation. It's influenced by the dynamics in your larger relational system, especially your family. Whether you're aware of it or not, the roles you've held within your family unit may still be shaping how you show up in love, how much space you feel allowed to take up, how safe you feel to express vulnerability, and how much trust you place in emotional reciprocity. In the next section, we'll take a closer look at your family and home dynamics, because they may be offering quiet support or quietly reinforcing emotional patterns that no longer serve you. Recognizing that influence is the first step toward changing how you relate to the people closest to you, and in turn, how you allow love to evolve in your life. In your family and close social circles, you may find yourself naturally taking on the role of emotional anchor, the one people turn to for support, understanding, or stability. You likely hold space for others with care and patience, and your presence often brings comfort during times of tension or uncertainty. While this is a strength, it can also become a quiet burden if left unchecked. You might be carrying more emotional responsibility than you realize. Whether it's managing dynamics between family members, keeping the peace, or being the one who always holds it together, the expectation, spoken or not, can weigh heavily. It's important to acknowledge this without judgment. Being dependable is valuable, but it shouldn't come at the cost of your own emotional well-being. Today, the message is clear. You're not responsible for healing everyone. Support does not have to mean self-sacrifice. One of the most important things you can do for both yourself and the people you care about is to establish clearer emotional boundaries. This might mean saying no more often, stepping back when others need to do their own emotional work, or recognizing when you've outgrown certain relational roles. What often goes unnoticed is how these family patterns shape the way you connect to your sense of self, how safe you feel to express your own needs, how comfortable you are with emotional independence, and how you relate to vulnerability in others. These dynamics can spill over into other areas of life, including your personal relationships and even your career. As we move into the final section, we'll explore how your current state of emotional and energetic balance affects your compatibility with others. What kinds of connections are likely to feel aligned right now, and which might challenge your current boundaries? Understanding this can help you navigate both new and existing relationships with more clarity and intention. Your physical well-being at this time is directly reflecting the emotional and psychological work happening beneath the surface. Even if nothing has changed dramatically on the outside, your body may be responding to internal pressure, accumulated stress, or emotional residue that hasn't yet had space to process fully. If you've been feeling more fatigued than usual, mentally foggy, unusually sensitive, or even restless without a clear cause, pay attention. These are signals that your system is adjusting to something deeper. For Leo, whose energy is often driven by purpose and movement, slowing down can feel counterintuitive, but right now, forcing yourself to maintain your usual pace may only increase the sense of burnout. This is not a time to ignore what your body is trying to communicate. The fatigue, irritability, or tension you feel is not a weakness. It's information. It's your body telling you that something needs space, care, rather than pushing through discomfort. Your focus should be on restoration and recalibration. This doesn't require drastic change. It begins with small, consistent choices. Start by carving out time to simply check in with yourself. Are you sleeping enough? Are you eating in a way that supports your energy, not just your schedule? Are you creating time away from screens, noise, or constant mental stimulation? Grounding practices such as mindful walking, gentle stretching, journaling, or simply being outside in natural light can offer more than just relaxation. They help reestablish a connection between your emotional processing and your physical resilience. Meditation or deep breathing doesn't have to be lengthy or complex. Even 10 minutes of intentional stillness can shift how your nervous system responds throughout the day. More than anything, your body right now needs consistency, not intensity. You don't need to do everything perfectly, you just need to stay in honest relationship with how you feel and adjust accordingly. This is especially true if you're moving through emotional transitions, family stress, or shifts in your identity, as those can take a toll on your physical stamina without you realizing it. Taking care of your health in this way isn't just about recovery, it's also about preparation. The more in tune you are with your physical signals, the better equipped you'll be to make aligned decisions in the weeks ahead. In many ways, your energy is your most valuable resource, and protecting it now will allow you to show up fully where it matters most. When it comes to compatibility and energetic alignment today, your connections with others may feel more noticeable, either through ease and flow or through friction that highlights what needs attention. The signs most likely to complement your energy right now are Aquarius, Sagittarius, and Aries. Aquarius offers mental stimulation and encourages you to step outside of your usual framework. They bring perspective and tend to challenge you in ways that sharpen your clarity rather than diminish your confidence. Sagittarius shares your natural inclination toward growth and movement. Being around their energy can reignite your motivation, especially if you've felt weighed down recently. Aries, another fire sign, naturally resonates with your core frequency. Their boldness and decisiveness mirror traits you already carry, which can create a sense of shared momentum and mutual encouragement. These connections, whether in friendship, work, or something more personal, can feel affirming. They don't ask you to explain yourself constantly, they just get it. And for Leo, who often carries more than they show, being seen without needing to perform is a quiet kind of relief. On the other end of the spectrum, interactions with Scorpio or Capricorn may feel more demanding. These signs bring intensity and structure, which can be valuable, but today their energy may feel slightly out of step with your own. Scorpio's emotional depth might clash with your need for simplicity and forward movement, especially if conversations turn too heavy too fast. Capricorn may introduce expectations or boundaries that feel limiting, especially if you're in a space where you're trying to open up or explore new directions. This doesn't mean those connections are negative. It just means they may require clearer communication, more emotional boundaries, or simply more space. If a conversation feels draining or overly complex today, take a step back. You're allowed to manage your energy without guilt. Your lucky color today is gold, as the color most closely associated with the sun, your ruling planet. It symbolizes strength, self-respect, and healthy visibility. Wearing or surrounding yourself with gold can act as a subtle reminder of who you are at your core, someone who radiates naturally when they're centered and aligned. It's not about drawing attention, but about standing in your own light without apology. Your lucky numbers for today are 3, 17, 28, 41, 59, and 75. These numbers aren't magical in themselves, but they can serve as small signs of confirmation or alignment. If you see one or more of them appear in a meaningful context, a message, a time, a receipt, consider it a quiet nudge that you're paying attention to the right things. More than anything, this part of your chart reminds you that even in uncertain times, you're not navigating in isolation. The energy you attract and the people you engage with mirror something about where you are. Let today's connections show you where there's ease, where there's resistance, and where your own growth is being mirrored back to you. As we close today's reading, take a moment to acknowledge just how much you've already moved through. The shifts you're feeling aren't by accident. They're part of a larger realignment that's asking you to live and choose more intentionally. Whether it's in your work, your relationships, your finances, or your sense of self, you're being guided to simplify what's no longer working and create space for what truly resonates. Not everything needs to be figured out right now. Sometimes clarity comes in pieces. What matters most is that you stay present with what's real for you today and allow that to guide your next step, not the pressure of having it all mapped out. If this reading spoke to you, feel free to revisit it throughout the week as things unfold. And if you're ready to go deeper into your personal chart, or want to explore how upcoming astrological events may affect you directly, I invite you to stay connected. Thank you for spending this time with me. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, take care of your energy and trust where it's leading you.